Eliza and I decided to have ourselves a night out roasting hot dogs and s'mores. This is the story of how this fire became this fire became this fire. Of course, the first step to any successful outing is get rid of the baby! Woo! I'm just kidding, we didn't leave her alone, we left her at Amy's. This, of course, is footage of us picking her up from Amy's run backwards. While making and filming this fire, I spent a lot of time trying to figure out the perfect fire metaphor. In the end, though, I decided to talk about motivation and productivity. Surprise, surprise. Yeah, I know I talk about it all the time, but it's an obvious analogy. We always say our passion burns within us, etc. But I think the mindset of creating a fire is what's most useful here. So Eliza, what's the proper technique for cooking a marshmallow?
Well, you have to wait and...
Nope, too complicated. Set it on fire!
That's not how you cook marshmallows.
There are 4 phases to building a cooking fire: preparation, tending, cooking, and extinguishing. Let's talk about the first 2. During the prep phase, you have to gather tinder, pieces of wood of ever-increasing sizes, you have to create a structure, you have to plan the fire starting, and everything that you do while you prepare points to a single thought. Please do not let this fire go out.
Serious, that's not how you cook marshmallows.
This thought intensifies once you actually start the fire. You nurse it, feed it progressively bigger bits of wood, but not too much wood, and stoke it with oxygen, but not too much oxygen, until you've got a stable fire. You've got to know when to leave it alone, and when to give it more fuel and air. This is actually the most important phase of fire starting, because all the preparation in the world won't save a cooking fire that's ignored. And there's nothing worse than starting a fire and having it die on you despite your best efforts, and having to start all over again. Except probably cancer. Thankfully, Eliza and I's fire roared to life and didn't go out on us or give us cancer. Win-win!
Alright, these are just about ready.
Perfect.
Friggin' wind.
But there comes a transition point in fire building where you have to stop feeding it, stop actively tending it, and start cooking on the coals. And there's a huge temptation to keep building and building your fire so it's huge and bright, but you don't need a roaring fire. You need a stable fire with access to the coals to cook food on it.
The convenient thing is that hot dogs come pre-cooked because it saves us from killing ourselves as we pretend that we know how to cook on a fire.
You see where I'm going with this? With creative projects, we're obsessed with fire starting our motivation. We spend lots of time making preparations, sometimes over-preparing, and once we've actually started, we spend a lot of time making sure we stay motivated about moving forward. Because there is nothing worse than completely losing all motivation in the middle of a project and having to start all over. Except probably cancer. But we're still haunted by that same temptation to focus so much on being motivated and not enough on being actually productive, aka cooking. Getting projects done and making things isn't about being the highest, brightest, most motivated flame ever. It's about having a solid core of stable coals to cook on. There comes a point where we must finish our preparations and our motivations and get to work. Now obviously, we still need to stoke the flames every once in a while to keep it from going out. But true creative productivity starts when we maintain stable levels of passion and focus on using it to accomplish the things we love, instead of simply building it up and up and up. But at the end of our day, at the end of our fire, and at the end of our fun night, I was just happy that when the fire finally did go out, it was by my own choice. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. The first step to... I messed up my only line.